It's Friday afternoon and I'm getting ready to go to the place where we store our RV. My husband is on his way from work and that's what we usually do. It makes sense for him to go straight there and for me to meet him there. And I wanted to show you what we typically pack for our weekend trips, which is just Friday to Sunday, so we try to streamline it and make it as simple as possible. I think each time I do it, I become a little more efficient at it. But what we have here is our clothes bag, and those are our clothes for the weekend. And when I get home, I will throw everything in the wash, fold it, put it back in the bag, and it will be ready to go for next time. So I didn't have to pack that. And then we have our supply bag. There are a couple of things that I don't like to keep in the RV, and there's always some supplies that I need to replenish. So I just make a list every time of what we need, and then I buy those things and I throw them in the bag and they're ready to go. Of course, we have our cold food and then our dry food, and then our file bag. So our file bag contains every piece of paper that has to do with our RV, manuals, insurance, all of that. And I like to have that with us when we're in the RV, and I like to have it home because sometimes I need that information. The one thing that's missing is the camera, which I think my husband took this morning. So I'm going to head over there. I've put everything away in our RV, and the first thing that we do is down there we turn on the master power so the fridge will start getting cold, and put the dry food away. There's our clothes bag, and so we'll get going pretty soon. We're on our way to Table Mountain Campground in the Angeles National Forest. It's near Lakewood, California, and we chose it because we were at the beach last month and Craig wanted to mix it up and go to the mountains. It said the navigation said an hour and a half, which is perfect because we try to stay within 2 hours for our weekend trips. So we left at 7:30 from our storage facility and hope to get there by 9. It will be dark, but we are used to that. We typically arrive Friday night and leave Sunday, and it's perfectly good for us. We chose Table Mountain because it had a lot of great reviews online saying that it was just really beautiful and peaceful. So we're looking forward to that, and I'm going to make an overview video of just the campground. So I'll put a link for that if you just want to see a straight overview of the campground and not about our weekend experience. Whenever we go to a campground for the very first time, there's usually 4 different things that I will do to research, get some tips, and I enjoy doing that. So I use my California camping book that I love first, and then I do a Google search, and I'll read reviews and blogs. I can hear other people's experiences and any tips they have. And then, of course, I use YouTube, and I've learned so much from watching videos on YouTube, which is why I started thinking hopefully there's something that will help you out. And the last thing I do is I always check campsitephotos.com because they have a lot of campgrounds, and you can actually see a photo of every site at that campground. And in this case, I printed the map, and we looked at which sites might have the best views so that when we get there, we can try to snag one of those sites. So how was that drive, babe?
Um, we're here. It's like 11 o'clock. We're having our soup. Uh, First of all, the directions on the iPhone were wrong. So, well, no, backtrack. First of all, I missed a churn because I was talking about pressure cookers. That was my fault. Then missed another churn because it just was dark and not clearly marked, right? Then got totally confused because the iPhone directions were different. So I luckily had written out directions, and so the lesson is um, follow the written directions, not your iPhone. It wasn't locating the campground. And finally did find the campground. It's totally dark. The drive actually was not bad if we knew where we were going. Road got very, very narrow, very uneven, and so what we have determined is this a campground for RVs, babe? No, it really wasn't designed for RVs. The road is super narrow. It's totally uneven and even worse than when we were at, well, maybe like when we went to Trona.
It's different.
It's different. Well, because it's so narrow. Like, I don't know. Anyways, thankfully, the spot that we reserved was pretty close to the entrance because I don't really believe we could get much further into this campground. We will explore it in daylight. Okay, the reason why I was chuckling is because we pulled in, and that was pretty difficult because the spot is really narrow, probably like 12 feet, and our rig is just over 11 feet wide. So there was no way that we could back it in because the road was so narrow. So we thought, well, it's really late. We'll just pull in so that we can get in the spot, which took some doing as it was to straighten out and get in here without hitting any of the barriers. And then because it's so uneven or sloped downwards, we wanted to raise the front. We knew that we weren't going to put down the leveling jacks and take out the slides because we're super jammed in here, but just to level a little bit because it's so sloped down. So this is what happens when you are an inexperienced RVer, which we are because we've only owned ours for like 8 months. So we put the blocks down, which totally made sense, got up on them, and then because the slope was so far down, the RV lurched forward. Is that kind of what happened? And we were close to the barrier in the front, and Craig was stepping on the brake, emergency brake, all of that, but the weight of the RV jammed us right into the barrier. So that was a panic moment for sure. And I'll show you in daylight what it looks like, but and exactly how we extricated ourselves, because it was kind of a scary moment because Craig was you were putting your foot to all the way to try to get us out, right?
To reverse back, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't happening. So
because it couldn't get back up on top of the blocks as it was going, trying to go up the slope.
yeah, and then even after you did you cut the engine?
No, I put it in park and put on the parking brake, and it's still
It was still moving.
inch,
Well, yeah.
or,
we could hear it
Left or forward.
creaking, like you could literally hear it creaking forward. I thought, oh my gosh. Okay. But we ate our food, we're in. Craig wants to go look for some bears. It's Saturday morning and we're here at Table Mountain. The wind is so strong. I was praying for wind to keep bugs away, but this is pretty strong. It's not too cold. It's a beautiful campground. If you are if you're car camping, van, tent, this is an awesome place. If you're one of those crazy folks in one of these, maybe not so much, but I think there are a couple spots where we might have done better. I don't know that you can tell from this how sloped we are, but that was a scary moment last night. Craig said that he actually thought as he could hear when we sort of crushed into the front, he imagined a tow truck having to pull us out. So what you might notice is that you can see people. It's a weekend, there's people here, but everything is so spread out, so nice. I saw a little bit of the sunrise this morning through the trees, and right over there somewhere. It was really pretty. There's an outhouse over there. So I'm looking at my directions. It's rustling in the wind here. This is the way we got here. We took 5 north. We went on the 14 north. Then we exited Pear Blossom. We made a right on Pear Blossom, a right on, which is the 138 East. We made a right on Largo Vista, a left on Big Pines. Then you make a left on the 2 East, a left at Table Mountain, and then this is where my directions were wrong, the written directions. It said left on 4 and 21, but you don't. You do make a left, but it's not 4 and 21. 4 and 21 looks like it's going to the right, and you actually stay to the left. So basically, when you make a left at Table Mountain, you stay to the left, and the campground is on the left. You have to know that for next time. I'm going to wait for a little bit, and then